The dignity of 5. The restaurant hummed with the quiet clinking of silverware and the soft murmur of conversations. A warm, golden light spilled from ornate chandeliers, glinting off crystal glasses. In a quiet corner, Amara sat alone at a table for 2. The deep sapphire of her simple dress mirrored the velvet chairs around her. It was an elegant place, one where the air itself felt heavy with the weight of money. But in her clutch purse, all she had was a crumpled $5 bill and a knot of dread in her stomach. The server, an impeccably dressed man with a polite but firm smile, approached. "Ma'am, a quick heads up. We typically take a card to hold the table. Just a policy. We've had a few walkouts lately." Amra's throat tightened. "My guest will be here any minute. He said he'd handle everything." The server's smile wavered. "Of course. He'll check back soon." He left, and Amra's heart pounded. She had no credit card, no backup plan. All she had was that wrinkled $5 bill, meant for a bus fare home. She had spent her last cash paying a wire transfer to her mother and her brother's college tuition. It was all she had left. A wave of bitter irony washed over her. Just yesterday, she had been ironing a suit jacket for her billionaire boss, Marcus Leon, and found $3,000 in a pocket. She could have kept it. No one would have ever known. Instead, she had quietly placed it on his desk, her own small act of integrity. A few hours later, the household manager had cut her overtime. Life had a cruel sense of humor. Her phone buzzed. A text from her boyfriend. "Evan, be there soon, babe. Just finishing up." She sighed, forcing a small, desperate smile to her lips. "Please, Evan, don't make this any worse than it already is." At a nearby table, a man in a deep blue suit closed his menu. It was Marcus Leon. He had come here for a business meeting, but his attention was caught by the woman across the room. Amara, his maid. She sat alone, her posture radiating an uneasy vulnerability that he recognized instantly. He leaned back in his chair, quietly observing. The restaurant's grand oak doors swung open. Evan sauntered in, a smirk playing on his lips. His expensive jacket was unbuttoned, his hair perfectly slicked back. He slid into the seat across from Amara without an apology. "Hope you haven't been waiting long," he said, his voice a little too loud. Amara offered a forced laugh. "Just a few minutes." He grabbed a menu and scoffed. "Prices here are insane. You picked this place." Her eyes widened. "You did, remember." Right, he said, waving a hand dismissively at the server. "Just sparkling water for me. Let's just look around first." The server returned, his expression now openly strained. "Sir, we really do need a card before we can start service." Evan leaned back, a smug smirk on his face. "Ladies first." Amra's face flushed hot with shame. "I don't have one." Her hand shook as she reached into her purse and pulled out the crumpled bill. "This is all I have." Evan's laughter boomed, echoing in the hushed room. $5. What did you think you were going to pay with that?" He continued, his voice rising. "You're a maid. What were you thinking, bringing me to a place like this? You can't even afford bread rolls." Nearby diners shifted uncomfortably. One man looked directly at Amara, his face filled with pity. Another group lowered their voices, whispering. Amara felt a hot tear escape the corner of her eye. She dabbed at it, hoping no one would notice. "Evan, please," she whispered. He cut her off, his face twisted in a sneer. "What? You thought I was going to pay for some fantasy dinner? You literally scrub floors for a living, right? No, wait. You're a maid. That explains it." The word maid hung in the air like a physical blow. The floor manager strode over, his tone clipped and cold. "I'm sorry, ma'am, sir. Without a valid card, we'll need to ask you to vacate the table." Amra's mouth parted, her voice a devastated whisper. "Then I'll go. I don't want to cause any trouble." She stood up, her purse clutched tight, humiliation burning a path up her neck and cheeks. And that was when a chair scraped against the floor, its sound echoing in the silent room. Every head turned as Marcus Leon stood up. His sapphire suit caught the light, his face a mask of quiet control. His voice carried easily across the room, cutting through the stunned silence. "That won't be necessary." Amra's head snapped up, her eyes widening in disbelief. Marcus, her boss. The last person she wanted to see her in this state. Sir, she started, her voice breaking. But Marcus' eyes held hers, his presence a silent anchor. The restaurant was utterly silent. Marcus's words carried such weight that even the clinking of a waiter's tray stopped. Amara stood rigid, her purse clutched to her chest, tears now threatening to fall. Evan blinked in disbelief. Then a smirk returned to his face. Oh, you know her. That explains a lot. A little charity case. Huh. You're really going to save your maid in front of everyone? Amara flinched. The word hung in the air like poison. Marcus walked forward, his stride quiet but deliberate. She's not a maid. She's Amara. And she is my guest. The floor manager looked flustered. Sir, our policy requires. Marcus placed a black credit card on the table, his gaze cold as ice. Then you need to hold this. And then you need to apologize to her. She's the one who deserves it. The manager swallowed hard and turned to Amara. Miss, I apologize. I shouldn't have spoken the way I did. Amara looked down, her voice trembling. It's fine. No, Marcus said, his voice low and dangerous. It is not fine. You do not apologize for being humiliated. You apologize for humiliating her. Evan's smug smile widened. Dude, you're really grandstanding over this. She's broke, man. Look at her. She came with $5. $5. And you're going to pretend she belongs here. Marcus' jaw tightened. You want to talk about money? Let's talk about integrity. This afternoon, she found $3,000 in my jacket. Cash. No one would have known. You know what she did? She put it on my desk without a word. That is who she is. That's worth more than every cheap insult you've thrown tonight. And you tried to reduce her to $5. Amra's lip trembled. She covered her mouth with a hand, tears finally spilling freely. Evan's smirk faltered. Come on. She's playing you. It's a setup. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Delete the recording. The room stirred, heads turning to Evan's phone on the table. Its red light still glowing. What? Evan stammered. Marcus' tone cut like a knife. Delete it. Now. Security guards appeared, their arms crossed. Under their glare, Evan cursed, fumbling with his phone until the light went dark. He shoved the device in his pocket and stood up abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. Enjoy your little charity project. He spat, his face flushed. She's all yours. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. A collective sigh of relief rolled through the dining room. Marcus turned back to Amara, his voice soft now. Sit. Her body trembled. Everyone is staring. Let them, he said firmly. They're not staring at shame anymore. They're staring at what integrity looks like. Slowly, she sank back into her chair. The server approached hesitantly. Will I take your order, sir? Marcus didn't look at the menu. Bring her something simple. Nothing for show. Just something she can enjoy. When the plate of roasted chicken and vegetables arrived, Amara picked up her fork with a shaking hand. You didn't have to do this, she whispered. Yes, I did, Marcus replied. His eyes held hers. Because she gave me dignity when no one was looking. Tonight, I gave it back to her when everyone was. The next morning, Amara stood uncertainly in Marcus' office, still in her uniform. Lucia, the hour director, shifted nervously under his gaze. Her overtime was cut without cause, Marcus said, his tone hard. Reinstate it, and back pay her for the time she lost. Lucia opened her mouth. Sir, that's unusual. And enroll her in evening classes, Marcus interrupted. Hospitality management, bookkeeping, whatever she chooses. Full tuition, effective immediately. Lucia faltered. But what is this for? Marcus' eyes narrowed. It's for the person she was yesterday. Handle it. Lucia nodded quickly. Yes, sir. Amra's breath hitched. Why are you doing this? Marcus turned to her, his voice softer now. Because no one who shows that kind of integrity should ever have to walk into a restaurant and feel humiliated over $5. No more scraping by. No more confusion. This is justice, and it's yours. Tears blurred her vision as she whispered. Thank you. Don't thank me, Marcus said. Just remember it and pay it forward when it's your turn.